Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Jerseys with Josh. Today, we're continuing with our featured collector series, and I'm joined by Michael Bradley Engle, goes by Mike. We'll chat with Mike about how he got into the hobby. We'll cover some of the really special items he has in his collection. If you'd like to be featured on the show, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at JerseysJosh, or you can email me at jerseyswithjosh@gmail.com. Mike, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to talk with any collector, and especially you, especially anybody watching out there. Tous les partisans à Québec, salut. Je parle français aussi, but mostly English.
What a way to start it off. That was great. Mike, let's keep it rolling. Tell me and the viewers how you got into collecting NHL game used items. You started with replica jerseys, including the one that you're wearing today, right?
Yeah. I mean, even as a little kid, I still remember the occasional replica jersey I had when I was a little kid. But I did my undergrad at McGill University right around the Canadian Centennial. So all of those fancy special edition jerseys that were worn on the ice, and they had their replica editions. I picked up a lot of those. This jersey I'm wearing is actually a made in Canada authentic. It was purchased as a blank from the Bell Center. And then I added this Ken Dryden retirement patch. Ken Dryden has always been my favorite player, even though he retired 10 years before I was born. I was always gravitated towards somebody who went to the same university as my mom, and then he had a great hockey career, and then he remembered he had a great education, did other stuff with his life. So always been a Ken Dryden fan. Happens to have Andrei Markov as the customization, because when I got it, I just wanted a current player. So it was literally either Andrei Markov or Tomasz Plekanec. I picked Markov. And so this is, I call this my good jersey. If I see the Canadiens live, I'm probably wearing this one. It's authentic. It's got the fight strap. It feels formal. It's like you wear your good suit to the special occasions. And I wear my good jersey when I get to see the Habs play in person.
I love that patch you've got on there. That looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then you got into game worn jerseys and goal pucks and other things along the way.
The game worn, game used obsession. I consider goal pucks a small alley off of the game used department. That became a thing in September 2020. It was the pandemic, and I must have been thinking to myself that I'm going to be lonely if I don't get to see the Canadiens play live. The offices were shutting down. Everybody was working from home. So it was a great opportunity to find some new communities. And if I think back to September 2020, I was 1 foot out the apartment I was living in at the time. And my wife and I, we kind of figured that the next time we were going to move was either going to be a really fancy apartment or a house. So I thought to myself, I'm going to have a man cave one day, and you don't put a replica jersey up in a man cave. I mean, you need something substantial. Like, how about something game worn? So that's pretty much the genesis of my game worn, game used collection, and it's become a quite big thing ever since.
And you don't collect just any game worn jersey, or generally when you pick up big items, you've got a connection with them, right?
The pucks, I give myself a little more freedom to just pick up cool logos and cool milestones and stuff like that. But the jerseys, I have a pretty hard rule on myself. The jerseys, I have to have literally seen the jersey in action before my very eyes. And the good news about having a rule is it gives you discipline, and it makes sure you don't go totally out of control and spend all of your money before you realize, I need to pay for food and utilities. That's the good news about a hard rule like that. But the bad side of the rule is, 2021, great year for the Montreal Canadiens. Hardly anybody saw it before their eyes because of the pandemic lockdown year. So technically, I can't really have a jersey from that year, which kind of stinks, but it's my rule and it is what it is.
Totally fair. I love that connection, though. It's neat to have a jersey that you saw before your very eyes, and I know you've got some cool equipment as well, and that's all featured on your Instagram. You're definitely Insta famous. But really excited to get in here. Before we get into the jerseys, I did have one last question about like the objectives of your collection. Is there anything long term that you plan to do or want to do with what you collect?
My guiding principle in me as a collector and having a man cave is, I envision my man cave as just like a personal museum of myself. So, you fill it with as many memories as I personally can have. As I say that I can only collect the jerseys that I literally saw live, it gives me future goals to make special trips. I've been to the Bell Center before to see the Canadiens. My wife and I, for our honeymoon, we actually spent 3 days in Montreal. So we toured the Bell Center just as a facility, but we didn't get to see any games there because the time wasn't right. Objectives include taking my wife to a home game at the Bell Center so that I can add another red jersey. Maybe make the Stanley Cup finals again so that I can see it and get that jersey. Or, my wife is a big fan of the Olympics, so maybe we can go see some Olympics and pick up a game worn of that.
Love that. That's so cool. Yeah, lots of options. Outdoor games sound like they might be fun too, or an all-star game in Montreal. So many good options. I appreciate you sharing all of that. Let's dig into the jerseys you have, and we'll start with the first one that you picked up, which is a Max Pacioretty playoffs jersey from the 13-14 season.
That's right. This is how it all started in September 2020. This is my debut as a collector, and I'd like to say I got off to a really, really, really good start as a collector. So we're seeing the back. Can show some arm materials. That's the right one. Got the left arm.
Nice.
Let's open the wrists there a little bit. This is a Max Pacioretty modification. This is a piece of Velcro here. The other side of the Velcro is his elbow pads. His jerseys can literally latch on to his elbow pads, like the forearm bit. So his sleeves will be pushed up a little bit and then they're stuck there so that it's out of the way when he shoots. It's got that on the it's obviously got that on the other wrist too.
I've only seen that one other time. That was in a video that I did with a Stahl Rangers jersey, and he had that same kind of Velcro modification. So interesting to see that on too. Recently.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon modification. I did not know that Eric Stahl had it. Every once in a while you see some fun stuff like that. This is the front, and obviously we've got a fight strap, and we have, as I'm fumbling around here, we have the Canadiens tag.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, is it in English and in French?
No, the tag is only in. Actually, no. I beg your pardon. No. That tag is bilingual, as is pretty much everything with the Canadiens.
Very cool.
Let's zoom in. Yeah, let's zoom in on that.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Chandail de match authentique.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Exactly. When I show this in front of my face and for the camera, I can't really see what I'm showing, but did I show you everything?
Yeah, it looks great. Thanks for sharing that one.
Yeah, that is
Now, how did you pick it up? Do you remember where you got it from?
Yeah. So that's the playoffs 2013, 2014, obviously, worn in 2014. That was purchased by me way back in September 2020. It was the first one I purchased. And it was from Migrate through a consigner. As we know, Migrate has the contract directly to sell stuff of some teams, but they will pick up pretty much anything else from any consigner who works with them. And so I bought it from Migrate just because it came up in a Google. I just thought to myself out of curiosity, what Canadiens game worn jerseys might be available to me. I got to the Migrate page, and Migrate does their own really, really, really good job of photo matching for you so that they can present value to the buyers. And they put in their letter that it is conclusively photo matched to Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Madison Square Garden. It is specifically this one on the right elbow. That one it's literally in the letter that Migrate wrote accompanying it. And I was smitten by it because I was at that game. I only took myself. It was the cheapest one single ticket I could find in the building. And that's all I need. I just need to be in the building. And oh boy, what an electric atmosphere. Nothing quite being like a fan of the wrong team.
Yeah, you must have been a sight to see in a Canadiens jersey there.
Yeah. I was wearing this Markov jersey, and Markov scored a goal, and I could hear some fan being like, "Oh man, he's actually wearing the jersey. Sit down."
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of good friendly banter every once in a while.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that was my first game worn, and I mean, it has a very special place in my collection. Not just because it's the first one I ever owned, but it's got to be the best game I've ever seen live. I mean, I've never seen a more high stakes game, right? Because I've never seen a Stanley Cup final. I've never seen any other playoff game. So that's literally the most high stakes.
It's pretty fun to be in an NHL building that's electric.
Yeah.
There's not much like it. When the Sabres, you might remember, were in a deep run in the playoffs with Chris Drury and Danny Briere, and Drury scored the goal, and Rick Jeanneret did the "Now Do You Believe?" I was in the building for that. Man, was it awesome.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let's talk about the next jersey you picked up, which is a former Sabre, Yaroslav Spacek.
Yeah, absolutely. So all right, so we're gonna show it off in front of the camera. All right, we're gonna scan like that, and yeah, let's see if we could get some special attention on the name bar, just in case it doesn't come out on YouTube. It's very well documented on my Instagram, so no worries. But I do want to kind of play nice for the camera. Yeah, we can zoom in on the 6 there.
I love the colors. Like, Montreal is an original 6 team. Man, does it look sharp.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, you have a good jersey. Like okay, so how the Habs have mostly red, but a blue in the middle, and the white stripes to break it up like that. I mean, it's really something when any other hockey team with their own colors, like Chicago had an alternate jersey like that, where it was mostly one color, and then the middle is broken up like this. You have something good when people who love jerseys think it looks like the Canadiens in different colors.
True, when it's the point of reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have I have the other sleeve here. The wear on this one is surprisingly not a lot. I would say that the wear is light, but obviously there and noticeable to me. Like honestly, the biggest piece of wear is probably this guy on the left elbow. It's lacerated and unrepaired at the first layer, but because the elbows are double reinforced, excuse me. Double reinforced, the laceration only goes through the first layer. It doesn't go through both. So like even if you tried to photo match this, it would be extremely hard because it's 2011 and the cameras were not as good then as they are today. So good luck photo matching this one because you don't really see it all the way, you know?
Right.
And we flip it around on the other side. And so yeah, the spot check one is that one's really special to me also. I mean, they're all really special. I mean, you know, pick your favorite child, am I right? But no, you know, I mean, I actually saw the spot check jersey twice because I went back and I checked the box scores and I remember the games I saw. They would have been January 6, 2011, hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins, and February 6, 2011, hosting the New Jersey Devils. I remember those dates. I cross-referenced the box score and spot check is there both times. So I actually saw that jersey twice. And in this part of my game-worn collecting career, I had Pacioretty and I had an Alex Galchenyuk white jersey that I do not have anymore. We're going to come back to that one a little bit because it sets the stage for a story. So I had figured out that if I want a red jersey that I had seen live before, I would have necessarily needed 2010-2011 home red set number 2. I figured that out with the help of other collectors. And when I realized what I needed, I was telling everybody all the time, if you see 2010-2011 set 2, I want one. I don't really care who it is, but I want one. So lucky me, a collector friend of mine named Tyler alerted me to a seller on Kijiji. And in case there's an American here, Kijiji is basically Craigslist, but for a different country. He alerted me of a Kijiji seller named Mark who was selling that spot check. He was also selling to Josh Georges, also from the 2013-14 playoff set where I have Pacioretty. So I didn't need the Georges, but I definitely needed the spot check. And it turned out that another Canadiens collector named Brandon wanted the Georges. Mark the seller lives in Ontario. Brandon lives in Ontario. I do not live in Ontario, but Brandon was so kind enough to drive maybe an hour to buy both of them, and he flipped the spot check to me.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean it's fantastic because I literally saw it twice, and it also has its own story of the collectors community. If you want to see all the photo matches, you can once again go back to the Instagram, but because we're talking about my collection and how and why it's so special, if we zoom in on this tiny little black mark on the left sleeve, my dates are January 6th and February 6th. And if you go on the Getty Images, you'll see that both times.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know we haven't yet mentioned your Instagram handle, which is collector0027. Please definitely give him a follow if you haven't already. And we're gonna shift.
We can link that to the show notes, right?
Absolutely. Yes, I will make sure to do that.
All right.
We're gonna talk about a goalie, and I was a goalie growing up, so these jerseys hold a special place in my heart. We're going to talk about a Carey Price.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Here it is. Here it is. Carey Price.
So I'm noticing we've shifted into the Adidas now.
Yes, we have.
I can see the dimples on the top there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Kind of strange luck there because the Galchenyuk I used to own also had the Adidas dimples. That's just kind of luck of the draw because this is the third oldest jersey for me chronologically as I picked it up. We haven't gone totally what's the word I'm looking for? We have not gone chronological as when they wore it. We've gone chronological as to when I picked them up.
Right.
So kind of dumb luck, but yes, it's true. The Adidas dimples. Now we're gonna flip it around.
Now, as you're showing it, these are notoriously hard to find. Carey Price jerseys are very much in demand. How did this one make its way into your collection?
Yeah, I don't know how hard it is to find a Carey Price in other people's collections, but they are definitely hard to find somebody who's willing to sell one to.
Right.
Yeah. So I picked up the Carey Price jersey, because if we set the stage once again, if we're keeping score here, I have a jersey that I saw as a fan in New York and a jersey that I saw as a fan in Montreal. A big piece of the collection that I would have been missing at the time is a jersey I saw live as a fan in Washington, D.C., where I lived for 3 years. And I saw the Canadiens live literally every single time I could. They came to town 3 times. And I saw them every time. So if necessary, I was willing to wait until the prices got lowered from the Montreal Canadiens. They sell some directly, but
right.
When you think you have a whole menu in front of you, you think to yourself, what is the kind of player that I want to add, and or it's like the wear, the photo matchability. If a player who I normally not very attached to, if he had an irrationally good game before my eyes, maybe I picked that one up. But I was waiting, biding my time. I was willing to be patient for a jersey I saw in Washington. But this Carey Price jersey popped up from a very well-known collector named Johnny out in California. I think his story was he was going to buy this jersey for somebody else, but then that somebody else backed out. So he was stuck with it. But he was gonna keep it unless he got his fair price that he was asking for, like no low balls. But I want to sell this. And oh boy, with Carey Price, that's our future Hall of Famer, and he's got to be the best Montreal Canadien I've seen in my lifetime. So I had to. I think every collector understands I had to buy this one. But as you could see, the wear on this one is depressingly light. So Carey Price, ever since I want to say 2017, he's worn only one jersey per period. And even today, he will have jerseys that are labeled A, B, and C. So in theory, A is the first period, B is the second period, and C is the third period. And if the Canadiens have 3 sets in the regular season, that's 9 jerseys.
Wow.
Give or take the 1 game specials that might be floating around there. But for this particular year in 2019, the certificates of authenticity, they don't say 1A, 1B, 1C. They just say this is one of 3 that was worn during the time period.
I see.
So in theory, this jersey should have been worn 33% of the time. But in practice, it's so light. It must be a backup that didn't get its fair amount of use. But the good news is, we zoom in on this guy. This,
Oh, that little thread there in the 3.
yeah, little booger hanging down. This is the right sleeve number, and if you zoom in really close, it's there. It's on Getty Images, and it's very obvious. It was sold to me as such because Johnny's a good photo matcher too. So it was available. It fit my collection. It's Carey Price. Enough said.
Yeah. How could you go wrong? Love that story. Love that.
Yeah.
And your fourth and the final jersey we're going to talk about, but we're going to leave some space to talk about some cool pucks, is a Paul Byron 2017-2018 jersey.
Yeah, this is so this is a really cool one. So we're gonna flash it in front of the camera.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love the hologram too. I'm noticing that you've got on most of your jerseys there.
All of them. If I didn't show you a hologram, then that's my mistake. You'll just have to go to the Instagram, but they all have them.
Okay, got it. Well, the Sabres never do, or very rarely. So it's an interesting Canadians piece.
Yeah. So and I've also been neglecting to show the tags, and yes, they are all bilingual. But yeah, the Canadians have a system where the hologram has its own number, and then the jersey tag has its totally own number. So the letter has a matching hologram, but the letter also identifies the serial number.
That seems like a good system.
Yeah, they seem to have a good system most of the time. But as every collector knows, sometimes mistakes happen. This is why you do all of your own homework at the end of the day.
That's why photo matching is so important to me personally, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we show off some more wear here, right arm, left arm.
Oh, that's a nice puck mark. There's a couple I see.
Yeah. All right. So I promised that I would talk about an Alex Galchenyuk jersey that I do not own anymore. That would have been the second game-worn jersey to ever be in my hands. So remember, I had Max Pacioretty, and those paperworks were ironclad. I had one from the Canadiens. I had one from Migray. It was awesome. The Alex Galchenyuk jersey, it only had Canadiens paperwork, and that Canadiens paperwork said it was worn starting March 2, 2018 until the end of the regular season, whenever that was. I forget. I was at the game March 2, 2018, and it was against the Islanders. I went with my wife. We were not married at the time. We were only engaged. But we were there, and we double dated with my friend from university and his wife. And it was the last time I saw a game as a New York resident. And, we had a great time with my friends. Like we went out for cookies after the game. And I remember the night so well because it meant so much to me. Like I knew it was going to be a little different going forward. Alex Galchenyuk had a hat trick on March 2, 2018. Put yourself in the shoes of a rookie collector. I was excited to get what I hoped would be that jersey that I saw a hat trick in. I got the jersey. It looks like a game-worn jersey. All right, so nobody got screwed. Nobody got frauded. This is a real game-worn jersey. It had a mark right here underneath the shoulder yoke. It had a mark right here. That photo matched to March 10th, 15th, something like that. The game was in Toronto. So I used to trick myself into thinking, well, I was there when the jersey was brand new, so of course it's not going to photo match.
Right.
Well, the veteran collectors had stories that basically, if you have a Montreal Canadiens away set 2 or a set 3 from the 2017-2018 season, you really have to do your own homework, because talk about some decks of cards that got shuffled together. I mean, they should rename both of those sets. The set 2 or 3, who knows? So I went back through the Getty images, and this Mark I was telling you about on my former Alex Galchenyuk jersey, it randomly photo matches in the middle of February in Las Vegas and in Arizona, and then it takes a vacation, and then it's photo matched one time in Toronto. So when I put all of those pieces together, I had no more confidence that I actually saw that Alex Galchenyuk jersey live. So it became expendable. I don't own it anymore. And that was nominally tagged as set 3, whereas this Paul Byron was tagged as set 2. So I thought to myself, we have hope here. I think I actually saw this one. And lo and behold, you can look on my Instagram. The photo matches are very weird. The set starts on January 16 at Boston, and it photo matches. You know, the first few games, boom, 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 boom. They match totally fine. It matches on February 1st, and then it takes a vacation until February 20 something versus Philadelphia. And then it seems like the jersey took another vacation. And incredibly, this is a set 2, and the first day of set 3 is supposed to be March 2, 2018, but this is where the miracle happens. Remember this guy? It was on his other left. It was on his left arm. I found a video match on YouTube.
No way.
As he is celebrating the game-winning goal.
Wow. That's cool. That's very cool.
I would say that game-winning goal jersey makes up for, I thought it was a hat trick jersey, but maybe not.
I love that. I will post a link to that video up here in this video in case folks want to see that.
And that is that's my collection to date. So you got a progression of my collection, but you also see the evolution of a slightly more educated collector, from totally novice level 1 ground zero to the collector I am today in a relatively short amount of time.
That is so cool. I really, really appreciate you showing those jerseys. And like I mentioned in the onset, you're Insta famous for sure for your puck collection. Can we talk through a couple of the pucks that you've got?
Yeah. Well, you said, well, I always like to say, the great jazz saxophonist Charlie Parker, if you would ever ask him, what's your favorite record? He would say, my next one. Yeah. So, it's like, if you ever ask me, what's your favorite? I'm always going to say my next one. But we agreed to bring up a Mount Rushmore, which is only 4.
Right.
Mount Rushmore has 4 presidents in a sculpted rock sculpture. In case you're not from the States or you don't know what Mount Rushmore is, we agreed to have a Mount Rushmore, and of course, when I say I'll do a Mount Rushmore of some of my favorite goal pucks, I'm thinking about what's number 5, but that's not part of the deal. We're not going to talk about number 5. We're going to limit it to 4 because I'm a man of my word, and we don't have all day, and also because this is a Jersey show. But always happy to show the pucks because that's most of my Instagram feed these days, and you're kind enough to give it some of the spotlight. So we're going to start with my first offering on my Mount Rushmore. This is a Philip Danault puck scored in Washington. Its date is November 15, 2019. I think it's goal number 43 of his career. I just looked it up the other day. I might be wrong. I don't know. But whereas all of my jerseys have the rule, I have to have seen it live. I give myself more freedom with the pucks, because when you got to collect the away logos, that is diversity and it's pleasing to the eye. Mm-hmm. And even if you collect the home goal pucks, you can see some evolution in the note keeping on the tape. So I mean, it's really interesting to me. But anyway, this goal puck is from November 15, 2019, and I was there. And this is so far the only goal puck I have from a game I literally saw. So it is impossible for me to have a Mount Rushmore without this one.
Have to include it. I think that's cool. I've always loved the tape around the pucks with the notations. Those are very, very cool. Yeah, for sure. If we go on to the next one, this is another favorite of mine. We're gonna give that some time on camera. Love it.
What? This one's upside down. Montreal 4, Florida 1, Montreal goal, Pacioretty 34, date March 29, 2014. So what is so special about this guy? Well, a few things. Number one, it's an anniversary logo. As we can see here by the 20th anniversary of the Florida Panthers. This is also one of the first goal pucks I ever had in my collection. Very, very, very good year for Max Pacioretty, who is also an American, as I will let everybody know. I love the Canadians, but I am American. This was a great year for Max Pacioretty. This is when he scored 39 goals in a regular season, and that is still his career high. And it happens to be a game winner also, but it is the 34th of the year. 34th of the year was when he broke his personal record, which used to be 33 goals in a year. So 34 breaks his record, and it's up to 39 now. Wow. He's gone over 34 a couple of times after this, but 39 is still his record, and this is his record breaker from his personal best goal scoring year. So we have a great player in a great year for him, in a great year for my favorite team, with an anniversary logo. And here's the kicker: this is photo matched.
You photo matched a puck. That's got to be hard to do.
It is extremely difficult because most of the time the pucks are flying and it's just a black piece of rubber, and it's very hard to see. And most photographers are not trying to take a picture of the puck. They're mostly interested in taking pictures of people. But every once in a while, you will get a good look at a puck. And we just I'll give the viewers of our show an opportunity to screen grab this, and I'll give them an opportunity to remember the date. It's March 29, 2014. Punch that into your Getty Images, and you'll see it, and you cannot miss it. You look at where the rings are interrupted because they don't have ink anymore, and it's unmistakable.
Amazing. That is super, super cool. Love that. We're going to shift to a Tyler Toffoli puck.
Yes. Yeah. This is, I mean, from far away, it looks like basically any other game puck. I mean, it looks pretty darn fresh.
It does.
But of course, it's got the details. As a collector, I have to say that the way they record the details in Montreal now is not what it used to be. I'll put it politely.
Okay.
This means Montreal, fourth goal on the Montreal side, because that's how they do it with the date. So this Tyler Toffoli goal, January 28th, 2021. It's his very first in the Bell Center as a Montreal Canadian.
Oh, that's cool.
He's been to the Bell Center before as a Los Angeles King. I don't think he was there as a Vancouver Canuck, but his first in front of no home fans, but first in his home building, and it was a shorthanded goal. Also happens to be Nick Suzuki's very first ever shorthanded point at the NHL level. Yeah, but I remember watching the game at home by myself. My wife was actually vaccinating the Washington D.C. school teachers for COVID-19. She got that really cool opportunity to do that and do some great volunteer work.
Awesome.
So she was doing that. I was at home watching the game all by myself, and in case we have a YouTube link to the goal, it is a hilarious goal. I mean, we have Nick Suzuki throwing a Hail Mary out from below his blue line. He's just trying to clear the puck on the penalty kill. It turns into a breakaway that Tyler Toffoli almost overskates, and he literally jams it in with a wrist shot point blank. I mean, you should cue up the Benny Hill music as you watch the goal go in. I mean, it looked hilarious. And I just remember thinking as a puck collector, pretty much every other goal I had previously was from another collector, or it was just old stock hanging out, just waiting to get purchased. I think this is my first puck where I was watching the game. I thought to myself, I need that one. And I got it. Personally, the date means a lot to me also because, game's over. I pick up my wife from her vaccinating other people, and we learned her sister got engaged.
Wow.
So yeah. So this puck, in addition to being a bit of a milestone for Tyler Toffoli, and in addition to being quite the funny highlight reel goal, it's always going to mean something to me. So that's on the Mount Rushmore for sure.
Love that. Very cool. And the last item we're going to highlight, we're talking Vegas, baby.
Vegas. All right, we're gonna show that for the cat. So right away, we're going to notice it says Stanley Cup semifinals, where it would normally say official game puck. So that cool.
Is a cool detail. I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, they do. If it were not the weird 2021 pandemic year, it would have said Western Conference Finals or Eastern Conference Finals. But this says semifinal, and we flip it on the back. It even has the Stanley Cup semifinal logo on
wow.
it. So that's even different from the normal Stanley Cup playoffs logo. So that's cool.
That is
now,
cool.
So now we look at we look at the note keeping. June 16, 2021, Montreal versus Vegas, round 3, game number 2, scored by number 40, Yoel Armia. And we're gonna hold it up like this, and we are going to, all right. you see those, you see these twin skid marks right here? We're
Yes,
gonna
yes,
give the
I think
fans
the
an
camera's got them. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna give our fans the opportunity to screen shoot this for future reference. So this puck, oh boy, this is a story. I look at it, I think about it all the time. In addition to being a really cool goal that put the Canadiens in the lead, to eventually win the game and to win the series and go to the Stanley Cup final. So I've got a whole collection of goal pucks just from 2021. Like I have pucks from all years, but I have a very special case on my wall for the year 2021. I mean, first and foremost, it's a tribute to when I found the goal puck community and when I really got hardcore into collecting. It's just a great coincidence that we went to the Stanley Cup final that year. So, what a year to have a goal puck collection. So I've got every logo accounted for, except the Stanley Cup final, because the Canadiens literally, the Canadiens sell goal pucks, but they have never sold the goal pucks from the Stanley Cup final. I think they might have gifted those to all the players. Scored a goal in the Stanley Cup final, that's a big deal. You don't sell that. You let the players have that. And meanwhile, Tampa Bay does not have a goal puck program at all. Like, you can't buy them. They don't bother selling them. They just use the pucks, and who knows? So I needed the Vegas logo. I heard they finally went up for sale. And by the time I finally got to the Vegas website, I'm just looking for a Canadiens goal, period. And I don't really care who. I always prefer to pick up a puck from a win, to represent a logo I need. So, just give me any Vegas goal scored by the Canadiens, hopefully during a win. The last one available in that moment on the website was this Yoel Armia goal. And I was halfway through entering my credit card information and it was sold out.
Oh.
So now I'm sad and I think I'm never going to see it again. But as it turns out, a goal puck collector friend had another friend who's a spy on the inside in Vegas. And he was collecting all of the Canadiens goals in Vegas for us collectors. So I was able to pick up this Armia for literally no markup. I just paid him back. Yeah, just what an incredible thing. It's like you think you're never going to see it again, but here it is again. And so now it's in the collection. But I said that I wanted to have all your fans an opportunity to screen shoot this, because if we look at those skid marks, that is a photo match point.
Unbelievable.
This one is photo match too. Like, take your screenshot, take the date, June 16, 2021, and go to Getty Images, and it is unmistakable. In the comment section below, I will say that the puck is photo matched, but the goal scorer, Yoel Armia, is not in the picture. The goalie, Marc-Andre Fleury, is in the picture. Which Montreal Canadien is actually pictured? The answer is not Yoel Armia, but post the answer in the comment section below to prove that you did your homework.
Love that idea. Please do. Please post that in the comments. Well, Mike, it's been so great to chat with you. Thank you so much for sharing these incredibly cool jerseys and pucks with me and with the channel.
Of course. Thanks. Merci pour la chance pour parler avec toi, pour montrer à tout le monde. Thanks everybody. Anybody in Quebec or Canada or anywhere else in the world. I only speak English and French, seulement le français ou l'anglais. but I'm happy to talk to anybody in either one of those two languages.
Awesome, man. My pleasure. Again, I want to encourage you to follow Mike on Instagram. His handle, again, collector0027, no spaces or dashes. And all right, that'll do it for today. Please hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Would love to hear from you in the comments if you have any. Hope you're subscribing. And thanks again, everyone, for watching, and enjoy the hobby.